brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. 106th Street Tire and Wheel on Northern Boulevard. Get your tires fixed and bought here today. Here we are, another week of True to New York Sports Talk. We got Steele. We got Chet. Steele had a technical difficulty just now. He tried to play it off. He's muted his own mic so that you can't hear him. And that might be the preferred thing after we listen to his complaints today. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys. I wasn't here last week. You know what I'm saying? We got NFL draft on Thursday. We got the Mets still in first place. We got the Yankees even swept the Guardians. We got the Nets. Or do we have the Nets?
What was that say?
NBA basketball playoffs, baby. We got bad calls. We got bad calls in the playoffs. We got bad calls in baseball. There's a lot of things going on today. What do you guys want to start with?
Yeah,
What was the boxer that just pushed his knockout his TKO? What was his name?
Tyson
Fury. Yeah, we even got that too.
Got Mike Tyson knocking people out on airplanes.
Oh man.
Yes, yeah, you can start my demise.
Now, I would say this. In the beginning of the basketball season, I predicted that the Nets would win the championship. But when all that Kyrie stuff started happening, then I said, they not even going to make the playoffs. Then they slipped into the playoffs. They might as well have just went home with the Knicks.
You're technically not wrong. You're technically not wrong.
Why did they even show up?
You're technically not wrong, bro.
That was not a playoff game at all. They were outgunned, outmatched, outcoached.
What's up, Chris? What's up, Ian? What's up, James?
Out everything. And now they're just out.
Who's their daddy? Is it this guy over here?
Wait
Jason
a minute.
Tatum? Is it Jason Tatum?
It's not even, it was Marcus Smart. Had KD on gridlock.
Yo.
He looked like Manhattan at 7:30 in the morning, and you trying to get through the Midtown Tunnel. That's what
Marcus Smart was throwing daggers left and right. Yeah. It was Ghost Book again.
It's simple, Boogie. They got happy is that they got outplayed. They definitely got outcoached. They definitely got out hustled. And last night, other than KD and maybe Nick Claxton, they didn't show any heart.
First of all, I know everybody want to blame Steve Nash and everything because nobody expects Steve Nash to be out coaching anybody, to be honest with you, because Durant and Kyrie set that up so that they're the ones that's doing all the coaching, right? So everybody wants to pour in on Nash, fire Nash, this, that, whatever. Okay, that's all well and good because he did make a lot of mistakes. But think about it. We got Claxton, right? He broke a NBA. He broke Shaq's record, right? 1 for 11 at the free throw line. Throws, yep. Does he realize that those free throws could have possibly got them a win?
Not possibly. They would have won the game. All he had to do was hit 8 of them.
I mean, how many basket rim runs you gonna have with this guy, knowing he's gonna get fouled on purpose, and he's not gonna make the basket? And the dude, and then when the crowd sarcastically yayed when he finally got his one, he smirked like it was funny. Like, that's not funny. Then you got Blake Griffin over here who's been feeding the play, and as soon as he get on the court, he's making differences. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's the Blake Griffin of old, but he's out there drawing charges where the team needs stuff like that.
Like I said last week, he's drawing charges. He should have been playing definitely Blake Griffin. He should have been bringing Aldridge off the bench. These guys didn't bring him off the bench at all. I'm like, what is he doing? You need defense, you need the rebounding, and you play in a small lineup.
Can I tell y'all what he's doing? I'm going to tell you exactly what he's doing. He's doing exactly what Kyrie Irving said he's doing. Because Kyrie's the coach. Kyrie and KD's the coach. Nash is just the face. Have you heard him in his press conference? He said him and ownership are going to get together over the summer and work this stuff out. Not one time did he mention the head coach. He totally just omitted that man from the conversation like he didn't even exist.
Because he don't exist. And Chris, you're right. Blake Griffin was definitely being an ultimate professional. Yeah. I mean, even Aldridge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously they didn't really need Aldridge because he can't rebound. He's tall and he shoots middies, but he wouldn't really did anything. But Griffin was the type of player that they needed because they showed no attitude. They showed no grittiness. I mean, like Brown, he's the defensive guy, but there's only so much he could do because he couldn't stop Tatum. Tatum was shooting over him like he wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you needed like a Blake Griffin there, drawing charges and being, being angry and doing stupid stuff to get them rattled. Because all they did was just make Kevin Durant look like Julius Randle. The dude was turning the ball over left and right, and hands in the air. And he's supposed to be the best player in basketball right now. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Kyrie Irving fasting, so now he all of a sudden he can't hit jump shots. You know, like when the two best guys aren't playing. And then they talk about let's run it back. Like you got to make some changes here.
Run it back. Run it back. How? That's my question.
That's what I want to know.
What change? You can't. Kyrie Irving does not want to be coached.
Look what Billy said.
Thanks, Bill.
He done switched up his Nets quick. Look, he don't even got a Nets jersey on no more. He went straight to the Giants. How sad is that?
Wait, and the Mets too. I had the Mets also.
Let me tell you something, man. That's what happened to the Nets.
They needed Aldridge out there.
I agree.
What happened to the Nets?
They definitely needed Les Claxton.
Right. If we just look at the history, right? This is seriously. If you look at the history, Kyrie could never do it by himself. Before James came back to the Cavaliers, they were a draft team. They were a lottery team. He didn't do nothing for them. Okay, when KD was in OKC after Harden left, after they blew that 3-0 lead, and Harden left and went about his business, they were an okay team. He went to Golden State, got 2 championships, but he was never really the man. The world deemed him the man.
First off, you can't do nothing by yourself. Nobody's doing anything
what I'm
by
saying
yourself.
is they deemed him the man because Steph Curry took a major back seat to let him shine. All right.
I mean, but he did.
But he shined because
I'll disagree with the guy who took the back seat. It wasn't Steph. It was Klay Thompson who took the back seat.
And you see what Charles Barkley said. You see the back and forth that him and Charles Barkley is having. Charles Barkley is saying that he's not the bus driver. He's just riding the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Him and Kyrie Irving are both. What's the lady? Or there could be a guy too that help the kids get off the bus, but don't actually drive the bus. The aides.
Okay.
That's what they are. They're aides. They're never going to drive the bus. They're just going to help the kids get off the bus and on the bus. That's what those two guys are. What the Brooklyn Nets need, they need an alpha.
Not for nothing. They're alphas. See, this is my thing, right?
But listen, I'm not talking about alpha on the court. It could be an alpha coach. They need somebody to tell them, you know what, shut up and sit down. Play defense.
Well, see, now they can say play defense and do all that all they want, but if they don't have no defenders, then that's just what it is. There's literally all of the good defenders and the key pieces that they had, they traded them away. And now they're doing okay, like Shamit. You know what I'm saying? He's over there on Phoenix.
Doing work.
Jarrett Allen. He's an all-star now over there in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like and Karis LeVert. You got
Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie over there with Dallas hooping. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to hear any of that. Play defense, because that's what they did. They gave up those pieces that you need to win. Obviously, they had to give those pieces up in order to get these superstars. But did they really help their organization by doing this?
No.
You know, like, I mean, not for nothing. I was mad at first that Durant and Kyrie didn't want to come to the Knicks. But I'm kind of happy now in hindsight because I'm telling you right now, if the collapse like this happened on the Knicks side of town, boy,
they would be burning down the Garden right now. They would be burning down Madison Square Garden. If you look at the game last night, shame on the Brooklyn fan base. All those green jerseys in the Barclays. They couldn't even show the people in the stands because there was so many green jerseys in the stands.
Because
how
the only fans they got is Jerome and Chet. That's the only fans out there. And where's Jerome?
Jerome already put on he already put on his Golden State jersey. Talking about he's going to his second team. Oh, what a fraud! God. He's not even gonna come on tonight. He's a fraud.
Let me bring up Golden State while you go talking about him, okay?
Mm-hmm. Don't try to jump on the Golden State bandwagon now, because I already told you. No. I already told you there was my threat on the West. Now you want to jump on that
Golden
bandwagon.
State make the finals. I said Golden State was to make the finals.
Man, you ain't say nothing of the sort.
Yes, I did. By the way, and look at Golden State right now. Who's going to stop them at this point? Who's going to stop them in the West?
Let me tell you something. Nobody might stop them in the West.
Enough to collapse like that.
Listen, they may not stop them. Nobody can stop them in the West. But when they run up against them Boston Celtics, man, man.
First off, Boston Celtics are not making the championship. No. Okay.
It's a team
let's not go crazy. Let's not go crazy. All right. I know you like green as a Jet fan, but let's not go crazy.
Not Boston. Listen, I'm just keeping it real. Like the young people say, keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real.
I just say keeping it real, but you're not beating Miami out of the East.
That's not keeping it real.
Listen, Miami.
They can't defeat Miami or the Bucks.
Don't get me started with the Bucks.
Please do not
get me started with the Bucks. Okay? Because right now, I've been watching that series big time.
Why?
I have never seen a superstar get away with murder that I've watched Giannis get away with.
So apparently you totally skipped over the Jordan era.
No, Giannis getting more than Jordan.
Not a chance.
I watched the game Sunday.
Not a chance.
In the first 7 minutes, he should have been on the bench with 4 fouls.
But he had 3.
He should have been on the bench with 4.
But he had 3.
This guy pushes off so much.
He does.
That nothing gets called. It's ridiculous.
He still had 3 fouls. He got 3 fouls called on him.
It's so ridiculous. Look at the other games. They're not calling fouls on him. This team, Milwaukee, can be had.
First of all, Milwaukee not going nowhere without Middleton.
But not by them.
No, not by Chicago.
Not by Chicago. Definitely not by
Miami. Miami will get him. Miami will get him on next round.
That's going to be a good series.
Miami will get him next round.
And Boston is going to get rid of Philly. Well, if they get by Toronto.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question about that. Okay. How do you think Philly's feeling now?
Oh, you're right. Where's Nico? We got Nico. We got Jerome. Hey, where these Nets guys at?
Let me ask you, Boogie. What about Harden now? He's playing horrible in the playoffs so far.
Hold on.
But that's
before we go that far, who made out? Because we had this discussion early in the year,
right?
And everybody was like, how the Nets still got the better of the trade. Are we still saying that today?
Yo, man, you can't foretell how crazy this kid is.
Remember, we got the draft picks.
This kid is crazy. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear the information that arrived out today about him?
That man said he wasn't mentally there to play.
Bro, he said that every time he thinks about playing basketball, his back hurts. Like, what?
Wait a minute, hold on.
My mouth dropped. I went, what?
Hold on. Let's just back up a little bit further.
Oh my gosh.
Now, before he went out, right? He was playing. He just wasn't playing well. He wasn't taking shots, right? Where in this 18 months did he? Where did he get hurt? It wasn't on the basketball court.
Well, you just heard. Apparently, mentally, when he's going through his mental distress, his back hurts.
So his mental capacity incapacitates his back.
Yes.
Well, I'll be damned.
So now, this is the situation that the Nets got themselves into. Because they darn sure could have used him.
Yeah.
I don't care what you said.
Listen,
used him. Because you're going to tell me that Ben Simmons couldn't do what Blake Griffin did?
Absolutely good.
So that's all I was saying that whole time when I said Ben Simmons can still help them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like he's an offensive threat. So defense is nothing but hustle and desire, man. And obviously he don't even have the hustle and desire just to even get on the court. So I don't know what they're doing with that. And speaking of people that's letting teams down, why don't we talk about the Jazz? Because Rudy Gobert and didn't Mitchell got hurt?
Yeah. He's questionable.
Like the Jazz, they're done. Just like how the Nets should be disbanding, the Jazz should be disbanding, and we should be seeing Mitchell on the Knicks next year.
The NBA draft is going to be really exciting this year.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of emotion. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting to watch. And
we got somebody that said the Celtics can defeat the Bucks.
They can. I believe they can.
I do too.
I believe the Celtics can beat the Bucks.
Bucks to me are overrated.
Without Chris Middleton?
Even with Middleton, they're overrated.
How long is Chris Middleton
out? He's out.
Who's that? Middleton?
He got a strain.
Yeah, he's out probably after the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's interesting. That definitely hurts them. Just like Devin Booker is hurting Phoenix because that was an easy matchup for them. And then all of a sudden now these key injuries, injuries are a part of the game, man.
Well,
and it changes everything.
Look at Miami with Lowry.
Mm-hmm. That's my point. Larry's out. Look at Philadelphia with Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
and all that I'll give him props for. Any other time, I think Joel Embiid. I keep messing his name. Joel
Embiid.
I'm not saying his last name. It's too much. Just Joel. Last year he would have just sat out. This year, I appreciate the fact that he's just
dedicated himself to
this way. He hasn't been the best player on that team. The best player on that team for Philadelphia 76ers team is Tobias Harris. In this round.
I would say, what's it,
Maxey?
Maxey's up and down. Maxey's a good player, but he's been up and down. He had that one big game of game one.
He had 3 good games.
Yeah, I think Harris has been their key, though. Defensive-wise, too. Yeah, I mean, last night was a dud. Bad game for them. They're going to win it, Philly.
Oh,
they're going to win it.
They'll probably win this round.
They're going to win.
Bucks are going to win this round.
Yeah.
Obviously, Boston already won.
Yeah, Miami's going to win.
And Miami's going to win. So now that's when the real matchups are. Now, as far as the West is concerned, the Pelicans. I mean, I'm happy for them. You know what I'm saying?
McCollum,
I'm happy for them, man.
Well.
I'm happy.
If you look, they got a good team, and shame on Fat Zion for sitting his.
Whoa! He wants to play.
He wants to play.
The
he said that.
Won't let him play.
He won't. Yeah,
that's not on Zion,
bro.
That's Zion. He wants to play.
What? But this is my question: Why? Why would your team want their so-called best player to sit out? Why? That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, if he's not hurt,
chemistry.
Why would your team
right now?
Unless they're saying they don't want him to get hurt because they want to trade him.
Chemistry.
Either that or chemistry-wise, because the man ain't play all season.
Yeah.
They're in a position of the playoffs.
Right.
So they figure, obviously anybody else would be like, you know what, Zion is going to help the team, but maybe they see something else in practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now Zion is frustrated and he's showing his anger by showing everybody his dunk that he can dunk on this bad foot of his. So, that's where it made it hot. That's why everybody realized that, this guy can still play. I don't know. But then the Timberwolves, they're shot. They're shot. After that 27-point debacle, I mean, do the Knicks really want Karl Anthony Towns?
No. The answer is no.
This guy be disappearing.
Well, hold on. Isn't he the 3-point champion?
Edwards is showing more heart than him.
Yeah.
He's the 3-point champion, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He won this year. I'm not losing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is Pat Beverly
shooting threes?
Yeah. And the 3-point champion.
Why is Pat Beverly in a position to have to score?
When
That's
you have
not his body.
Right, when you have Towns and you have Edwards,
but props to him for stepping up.
Right.
And missing shots.
I mean, that's not his game. You know what I'm saying? Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to be taking over.
Yeah.
You got, like I said, you got Edwards hooping out there. He's hooping. Yep. Edwards is hooping.
Listen, everybody's doing their thing. Karl Anthony Towns, he is the masked singer, man. You can't find him sometimes.
Yo. Now let me ask you. When Luka went out, right? Mm-hmm. And Dallas won those 2 games. Obviously, Brunson, Dinwiddie, that combination was very lethal for them in that series so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that Brunson is a free agent at the end of the year. Does that bump his asking price up higher than it needs to be?
Yes.
This is why I hate the media. This is why I hate the media. Because the media is already gassing up that bump, right? He had a good game.
No, he had a couple of good games.
Listen, this is no reason to jump out the window.
You right, but let's put in perspective. Luka is their best player.
Right.
Absolutely.
He passes, he rebounds, and he scores.
Right.
They didn't win that first game with Luka. They won the next 2 without him.
Yeah.
With heavy play from Brunson and Dinwiddie. You can't ignore that. In the playoffs, you can't ignore that.
You can't ignore that because listen, we are from New York, right? We all know Dinwiddie was a baller.
Right.
We all said that, right? So for him not to get the playing time that we figured he deserved was a head scratcher. The guy went out, he stepped up, he did what he does.
Right.
Right? Brunson, again, a little bulldog. He plays very hard for 48 minutes.
Correct.
Pause. Okay? So those two aspects in a playoff position, that's what you want as a coach. You want some guys that's going to give 110% for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
Luka doesn't play defense. I know if Joe is listening, he might get mad at me. Luka plays zero defense. He wants to score and pass the ball.
He's slow-footed.
He wants to score and pass the ball. He wants no part of any defensive rotations.
True. I've seen.
Okay. Am I taking away the fact that he's a hell of a basketball player? Hell no.
And by the way, I'll give credit to where credit's due for that team. The credit that you give due to his name is Jason Kidd.
No question.
He's coaching that team.
Listen.
He's coaching that team the right way.
Listen,
making the right moves.
To me,
he made
Dallas
has in the past. So
Dallas hasn't had a bad coaching staff in a long time. Dallas coaching staff is usually credible. They don't.
Well, they had the same coaching staff for a very long time, so
I'm
that's very easy to say.
But they've always been pretty decent. Even Don Nelson, when he was the coach, he was crazy offensive minded, but he was a decent coach.
He was ahead of his time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very well put. You're absolutely correct.
You're correct. Yeah. Yes.
So Dallas never look at this organizations. Dallas, Spurs, even the Lakers. I was having a conversation with someone. And if you look at it, the best, not the best, but some of the best NBA coaches right now are point guards. We're point guards.
Yeah.
Except for Steve Nash. But I'm just saying.
Eric Spoelstra was a video guy. He didn't even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was a stickler for attention to detail. He watched and learned.
Pat Riley
was a guard.
Pat Riley was a bench guy.
But he was a guard.
Phil Jackson
he wasn't
forward.
a guard. Forward. But all I'm saying about Phil Jackson, I'm not giving him any credit because
of what he did to the Knicks.
No, because I feel like he just had a lot of good players. He never coached a bad team. Like he never had walked in like Larry Brown and walked into a team and had to fix it. I mean, Pat Riley has been piecing together teams for almost 2 decades now. And
here we go.
Who we got here? What happened?
Is this a fair comparison to say that the Toronto Raptors equal the Boston Red Sox and the Philadelphia 76ers equal the New York Yankees?
What?
No way.
Well, let's think about it.
Let's.
The New York Yankees.
Right.
We talking about right now.
I'm assuming he's talking about right now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees. Right. They are projected to win a lot of ball games this year because they definitely projected higher than the Mets. And right now, at the beginning they were struggling for offense. Their pitching wasn't up to par. I mean, obviously they got right against the Guardians, but Boston. But then you got the 76ers, who has Embiid, the potential MVP,
right?
And you have James Harden, top 70 player, and then you got a budding star in Maxey. You got stars on this team that's supposed to go far or championship or bust in their world, right? And they crawled to the playoffs. So is that a fair comparison to the two? Now the Toronto and Boston, I don't really understand that.
I got a better team for that. I would say Toronto's equal like the Tampa Bay Rays.
No, you give them too much credit. But you know what? No, that's not bad. I'm not going. That's not a bad. Now that you broke it down a little bit.
Oh, and they're right. How did John Morant get the most improved player award?
because he was out most of last year. That's why. And it's if you look at all his stats from 2 years ago, went up. He went up like 7 points a game, 3 more rebounds a game, 2 more assists per game.
So you mean to tell me nobody else was better than that? Because John Morant was never considered a bad player.
Yeah.
He was always the man of his team.
Yeah.
So his numbers improved slightly.
But did you see what he did with it? Did you see what he did with the award?
I would look at for most improved.
What did he do
with
with the award?
Was Wiggins and Golden State was one for sure.
See now, a guy who nobody thought was even good became an all-star. How can a guy like that not get most improved player?
Right,
but he ended up.
Good.
John Morant gave it to Bane.
Yeah. That's the other guy I was thinking was Desmond Bane.
Pause, by the way.
Of course,
Desmond
definitely.
Bane, yes.
He gave the award to Bane.
Yeah, I think he should have got it more than him.
Which is pretty cool.
Whoa, we got a Jerome sighting?
No way. He's just on here.
Golden State. Somebody ban him from the group.
God.
Wow.
This guy.
Wow.
Yep.
Yo, in them old country western movies when the guy be jumping from stagecoach to stagecoach.
Yeah.
So he's saying the 76ers is like the Yankees because they're up 3 games to nothing and could possibly lose the series.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay, I see where you.
I see where you're going, and I hate you for your comment. I see where you're going. I definitely hate you for that comment, but it's a good comment, but I hate you for it. But anyway.
You're right, Chris. It did make more sense.
Just like I thought Andrew Wiggins, I thought should have got it, or Bane. I agree with either one.
Bane should have
First of all, Bane arrived out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, hold on. How about
he's known as the Steele of the NBA. Walk around with his big arms. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How about,
now all of a sudden he's a player.
How about Poole too?
Jordan Poole.
Justin Poole from G League all the way up. Yes, I can see that.
Guy came from
that's what I say. That's why Golden State
is his
good.
name Justin Poole?
Guys they got this year.
I just call him Poole. I can't remember his name.
Get it together, Lou. Get it together.
Wiggins was out.
He's still talking. He didn't even stop talking.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I agree with that.
Wow. He didn't even know he was taking off. That's crazy.
He just kept going.
He just kept going. He was talking to himself.
No,
I'll have the show not even be streaming.
Hold on. Listen, he said, I don't care if they take me off because I'm still going to be talking. I don't care. And I'm going to enjoy my cheeseburger as they take me off.
No, cheeseburger's done already.
I didn't even say him take a bite.
That's what I'm saying. Jerome, you're banned from talking on this show right now because this guy, everybody look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at his hat. Look at everything. The guy's a net fan. And then as soon as they get swept, he's disappearing and trying to jump on the Golden State bandwagon. Despicable guys like this.
Yo, he's almost worse than that pitcher. I mean, that umpire.
Oh yes, Angel
and Hernandez. Jerome is almost worse than he is.
Who should get the 6-man award? Poole
or
Tyler Hero?
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero averaged like almost 30 points a game.
Yeah, it's like 20 plus. Yeah, Tyler Hero.
Yeah, that guy's
Tyler Hero.
And Poole also he was a starter for a long.
Poole. Yeah, but he was mostly 6-man. It's got to go to Tyler Hero.
Definitely.
Gotta get. I mean, it's not even a question.
Yeah,
I don't think so. But the NBA is doing what they want to do nowadays. So Lord knows, because no one in the world thought that John Morant was even in the conversation.
Yeah.
Of most improved. It's like we can't give.
I wouldn't have guessed him being most improved.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody was talking about him.
Possible MVP candidate? Yes.
Yes. I didn't think most improved.
Yes.
Not even close. Okay.
Yep.
But again, they do what they want to do, just like the Brooklyn Nets organization. Let me ask y'all a question about the Brooklyn Nets.
I was just going to go there too. Go ahead.
All right. As an organization, like, what is their next move? Like, what?
If I was them, dump all these old dudes that they're not going to play.
Right.
Clear up. I mean, they're only there for the minimum anyway. They're only there for the minimum anyway. So it's not like they're holding up a whole bunch of money. But just clear the team from that because
you got to remember now you're gonna have Simmons next year. You're also gonna have Joe Harris back next year.
Well, you think you're gonna have Simmons next year because what if he gets stressed? That he's not going to play.
Yeah, well,
Joe Harris.
You'll get Harris.
When you have Joe Harris and when you have Curry playing at the same time, that opens the floor up.
I think who you get rid of next year. You get rid of Aldridge. I hate to say it. Okay, definitely.
Why would you hate to say it? Because I mean, he has a
really
good
Patty Mills. I get rid of.
I don't know about getting rid of Patty Mills.
Dragic ain't coming back. Gordon Dragic,
okay.
He ain't coming back.
Okay.
But before we go any further than that, if Irving decides to opt out, do you give him the Supermax?
No. He's not going to sign for anything less.
Yeah, but that's not going to sign for that.
So you're saying the Nets have no other choice but to give him the Supermax?
Yeah, because
they have a choice to tell him no.
They're not going to not sign him because you got to remember, Kevin Durant and him, they got like their little pack going on. So if you upset Kevin Durant, then Kevin Durant might try to axe out of there.
Bro, you're going to give the Supermax to a player that hasn't played a full season since the birth of Christ?
But he's only 30 years old. If 30.
30, he's 31.
I think he's 31.
Kyrie?
Maybe
31
now. Huh? I don't think he's 31 yet. Yeah, he's 30.
No, Kyrie's
so
30. The guy I would
give him a max.
The guy I would look at next year, if you don't want to get Irving to bring into Brooklyn, is Bradley Beal.
So you're gonna bring in somebody who's gonna be shoot first, pass never on the
You gotta remember, if Simmons is playing, Simmons is your point guard.
But you're acting like Simmons is gonna play.
Right. I said if Simmons is gonna play, Simmons is your point guard.
That's a big if. Matter of fact, what if they put Simmons on the market?
But you can't put somebody on the market that's not marketable. Who I want to pay to get
exactly
that guy?
A less stressful environment.
Yeah, I think
the G League.
I think he stays. I think he stays as the biggest chip on his shoulders next year.
Who's gonna have a chip on his shoulder?
Simmons.
If he didn't have a chip on his shoulders, getting traded from the 76ers, then I don't think he's ever gonna have a chip on his shoulder.
No.
Honestly.
That's what I say. I say if they give it to Irving, I would bring Beal. I would try to get Bradley Beal.
I'm just wondering
that Chet should coach the team next year, and then they'll listen to him as much as
they'll listen to more to me, Billy, because I'll put guys on the bench and they don't like it. Tough luck.
And Chet will be fired in 2 games.
It's interesting to me though because the Brooklyn organization has some very big decisions to make this summer. Listen, unlike the Knicks, we're just a Rubik's Cube.
First off, this shows that it's still a Knick town because even through this playoff, Knicks still are the team that talked about here because even through their playoff stuff, they're still talking about getting rid of Randall. They're still talking about who we're going to get in the draft, blah, 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 blah. We should be completely irrelevant if you got a Kyrie and a Durant on your team in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So now that this happened, right? Now, if this happened to the Knicks, this thing would drag all the way into the next season. But because it happened to the Nets, this thing is going to die out next week. Nobody's even going to talk about this
next week.
I mean, they're not going to talk. But know why? And again, I blame the Brooklyn Nets fans because they.
But there's only 3 of them, and one of them is a Golden State fan now.
Again, that's the problem. Like they're so busy trying to combat the Knicks and trying to just be your own team. Just be the little brother. It's all right to be Robin.
I think they're fine doing that.
They're not fine.
No, speaking of moves, I hate to change the subject, but speaking of moves, the draft is Thursday. NFL draft. The NFL draft is Thursday. Today's Tuesday, so you got 2 more days. You got a lot of speculation. Who will go where? Who's the top pick? Who's going to trade their drafts? Whatever. We got the Giants, who got 2 first-round picks. I think 5 and 7.
5 and 7. Yep.
And then we got the Jets, right?
Correct.
Now, 4 and 10. If I was the Giants, my first pick is definitely going to the offensive line, right? Now, obviously, we picked up some pieces from Buffalo, right, to fill our lineup. But we definitely need to focus on offensive line because every single GM and coach that arrives to the Giants always stresses that that's what they want to address, and that's never what they address. They always go flashy wide receiver, flashy running back, and as you can see, flashy wide receiver ain't really work because Kadarius Toney and Slayton, they're on the market right now. They try to trade our 2 young wide receivers. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but obviously something ain't working out there with the new regime. So let's get that offensive line solidified because this is our quarterback's 5th year, right?
Yeah, this is the Pam year.
Yeah,
this is the Pam year.
We need no excuses from this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We need offensive line, and my opinion, I think we need an edge rusher too in the other pick, unless they trade that pick for more picks. But what do you guys think? Like this draft, what are you looking for in this draft? I know you're a Jet fan. What do you look for the Jets? What are you looking for the Giants, Chet?
Defensive ends. I need defensive ends. The tackles is solidified pretty much for the Jets right now. They just re-signed what's the guy named Williams?
Right.
Billy said O-line at 5 and Sauce at 7.
So we need to get those ends squared away. Anybody listen, I'm not picky because when it comes to defensive ends, they could be stellar in college to me, and they get to the pros and disappear. All right. So I just need the Jets to do their homework. Get who they want. Don't get what they think they need. All right. That's one. 2, if there's any chance in the world we can get Debo, any chance.
That's not happening.
I said if there's any chance.
It's already happened. Ownership.
Excuse me.
We're not trading him.
I did not destroy your Nets dream when you were talking about they were winning the championship.
Billy said the edge is deep. This
yes, it is. I agree with Billy. Edge is deep. Yes, because that's the needs for the Giants. What they need is offensive line for sure. Edge. Definitely some linebacking up. But I think the other thing you're going to need help is because you're going to be trading James Bradbury. You're going to need some corner help. Okay. And I think the Giants in the first round are looking at 2 offensive linemen with their first pick. They're either looking at Akeem Ekinowu of NC State or Evan Neal of Alabama as the offensive line. That's what they're looking at, one of those 2 guys, because that's not a deep position this year early.
What about that African guy? There was an African guy that was looking at from that special program that the NFL has. I forget that he's like 6'9".
Oh, I forgot his name offhand. I know what you're talking about, yeah. But another thing that could happen, and I've been hearing, is that there is no solid number 1 pick as the first for Jacksonville. Because everybody was sitting there taking Aiden Hutchinson, supposed to be the top pick, edge rusher, stuff like that. There's a kid that's been moving up boards. I was talking about his name, Trayvon Walker from Georgia. Impressed at the combine. Speedy guy, can play all over the offensive line. They're talking about Jacksonville's talking about having them go there. Okay. And Hutchinson can drop. Now, in my opinion, Steele, for you guys, who I think you guys are looking at, and I think might be a perfect fit for them, is Kayvon Thibodeau of Oregon.
I'm about to say it, yes. I was destroying his name. I kept calling him Thibodeau.
Yeah, it's Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah. They're looking at him if he's still there at 4.
Why wouldn't he be?
Houston's looking at possibly a couple of picks at 3. Thibodeau's 1. Ekino was another. If Aiden Hutchinson drops down, they're looking at that too. So it's it's going to be pretty much, in my opinion, wherever Aiden Hutchinson goes, I think the rest of the first few picks are going to be just where you want it. You probably will get Thibodeau.
Lou said, what if the Giants traded the 7th and a future rounder for Debo?
And that's the one thing I was
First of all, Giants fans.
Yo, let me tell you something. If Debo go to the Giants, boy, I'm getting that jersey.
Lou, I hate to say it. They are not getting Debo because they said San Francisco's ownership has already said they're not trading him. But I can see the Giants trading the 7th pick if they decide to go.
But see, listen, what direction are the Giants going? Because if you're going to trade all your young wide receiver, you're going to keep a wide receiver that don't play but 2 games a year, that Galloway, right? And then Shepard's always hurt. So why are we trading our young wide receivers? Why are we trading our best quarterback? Like, what's going on? Like, what is the direction here?
I can understand Bradbury because of the salary cap. I can understand that. Okay. But when it comes to Tony and Slayton, especially Tony, I don't know why you trade. Why even think about trading?
What's going on? Like, what's the direction we're going here?
That's
why I'm confused about this draft.
I think they're getting rid of the headaches. I think they're getting rid of all the dissension in the locker room.
Slayton was a headache, I don't think.
How do you know?
Yeah,
there's no reason.
Exactly right.
You don't know.
What I was thinking, Boogie, with the second pick, if they keep that second pick in the first round of the Giants, they're looking at 3 or 4 guys. They're looking at possibly Ahmed Gardner or Singletary for the cornerback position. Okay, that's one way they're looking. Another way they're looking, if they want to go safety, they're looking at Kyle Hamilton of Notre Dame, who's jumping up a lot of boards. Okay, but the one guy I think they're going to try for an offense, and if they do this, I think this is the steal of the draft. Okay, if they're going for wide receiver, Garrett Wilson of Ohio State.
I see Bill said tackle from the NC State at 5. Or
right.
the center
Ekwonu, who I want. That's who I want at 5. It's him.
And the LSU cornerback at 7?
Derek Stingley Jr., yeah.
As long as the Jets stay away from anybody that plays at USC, I'm good.
Well, here's the thing. And speaking of USC, and here's my sleeper pick for the Jets with the second pick. And he's moving up a ton of draft boards. Okay. Drake London, the top wide receiver from USC.
What I just said.
I told you. Speaking of USC.
Chet, I knew you was going to go there.
Uh-huh.
We are not picking up any more USC players. No. The answer is no. Okay. I don't care how he's moving up the board. No.
It's
no, Chet. Just stop right. I was all right with you. You was doing just fine. So I knew you was going towards that USC.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me tell you something.
What would you take with that second pick then in the first round?
I'm not sure, Chet, because you're the draft guru. But I knew you was going to say that USC guy. So I felt like before you went there, let me just jump in there early. All right, and just stop you in your tracks. We do not want no one from USC. Okay, we have had our full. We're done. Okay. So just skip over him, Chet. Go to the next guy because we're not that guy.
I mean, you're going to show up, the edge rusher if he gets teamed up with the first pick, and I like that.
Thank you. We're good there.
I would like that pick with that. Okay.
At 10, what are we doing?
I don't know. Like I said, there's a couple.
I finished yelling at each other.
There's a couple of ways you can go. Like I said, you could go London. You can go Kyle Hamilton. You could also sit there and go if you want to, show up the quarterback, Trent McDuffie of Washington. I mean, there's a couple of guys you could look at in that range there. Okay, but also what you can do if you want to trade the pick and try to get some draft equity, you can do that too. You can move down a little bit in the first round because there's a lot of decent picks there that's sitting here in the first round that you can get. I mean, there's a couple of guys like if you want like a linebacker, you look at guys like Keon Green of Texas A&M. You can sit there and get Zion Johnson of BC. You got guys there that are there. If you want to trade that, it probably will be there for you.
I'm not
the middle to late in the first round.
At this point, this draft is not really that impressive to me. There's a lot of DNs, pause, right. I'll be satisfied with some defensive show up. I think for the Jets and the Giants,
right.
That's what both teams really need badly. Right. The secondary help,
yes,
is a must for both teams.
Right.
I think the Giants O-line is decent. Jets O-line needs some work.
Right. And that's a part of it in the first round. That's deep. Where you can get an offensive lineman down later on in the first round if you want. I mean, there are guys there that you can get.
There's just not, to me, they're not gassing up, but they're trying to, because the draft is everything. And nobody in this draft is, everybody's like, wow. Every year is always one guy like, yo, we got to get that guy.
Yeah.
This draft is not that. It's a lot of really good guys, but there's no one that makes you want to go, if you miss out on him, the next one up is just as good.
But you know what? In football, it's always difficult to tell in that way. Because not for nothing, like there's guys that, that's a can't miss. They're gonna be superstars in the NFL. And then they don't end up being okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that happens more often than not.
And if you look at this class, the quarterback area is not deep at all. Okay, I mean you got Malik Willis that it's going to be the first quarterback gone. Then Kenny Pickett of Pittsburgh, and a guy that's moving up on a lot of charts where they're talking about possibly at the end of the first round is Desmond Ridder of Cincinnati.
Okay. Whoa, Biggs is here. Watching
no way.
No way.
Yo, this show is sponsored by Pink Kings. Get your Pink Kings and New York Source.
And 106th Street Tire and Wheel, 106th Street Tire and Wheel, Nolan Boulevard. Get your tires fixed and purchased today. There you go, Biggs.
Biggs, we need a couple of shirts. We got to do some giveaways. A couple of shirts. Some freebies.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I said, this draft, like I said, is deep in a few positions. Like I said, like wide receiver, edge rushers, O-line. Those are deep. Those you can get later first round, second round, even third round. Okay, quarterback's not deep at all. Tight end's not deep at all.
But neither one of those, the tight end, Giants don't need a tight end, and the Jets don't need a tight end at this point.
Right, exactly. So you're right. But the Giants, I said, the most blaring needs is the offensive line, edge rusher, cornerback, and possibly if you get a good linebacker, you can get that later on. But I want the edge.
Aren't the Giants interested in that the Elam kid from the Gators?
Yes,
the quarterback, I think.
Yes, I don't want.
Billy said, Biggs left. Biggs, I'm gonna call him up. Right now. Biggs, get back on here, Biggs. We need some shirts here. We trying to do some giveaways. We need the new the Nets is back. The Knicks is back. B-shirts.
Speaking of that, Lou, you said the tight end position is not tight end isn't deep, Chet. Like, that's crazy. So I had to edit his statement. So the tight end position in football is not a deep one. So I think the Giants, I think they were interested in their third pick, I think in the second round, was to go after a tight end. Is that correct?
I mean, the top tight end that I see on the board there is Trey McBride of Colorado State. I mean, that's the top guy I see as a tight end.
But how high do you think he's going to get taken, though?
I'm thinking he's not going to probably later on, maybe in the second round, late second round.
Because I mean, are they still going to rely on Kyle Rudolph as their number one tight end now that they got now that whatchamacallit is going?
I mean, I think they can probably I think they're going to pick up somebody in free agency probably.
Wow.
That they'll look at. In my opinion, I just don't think, like I said, I think they need to show up the lines more than anything else. When it comes
speaking of lines,
defensive line, they have to show that up.
Speaking of some lines,
yeah, they have to show that up first. The offensive line, the defensive line.
Steele's having a moment.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys.
Some
of these guys, it's hilarious.
I've seen mock drafts, Boogie, with the Giants. If they were going to take a tight end, they would look at a guy like Jeremy Ruckert of Ohio State, maybe later on, like round 5 or 6, possibly. Going that low to get a tight end.
What were you laughing at, Steele?
Yeah, I'm laughing at some of these comments. Yo, we have some very imaginative, very comedic guys. I appreciate you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys for coming out and watching the show and give your input, man.
Oh, you guys, we got Steele Jones. That's right. I forgot that from
Ricky Steele Jones, right? Yeah,
that's right. Forgot about him.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, so as I said, you don't really need a tight end, but I think they need to, the offensive line, defensive line, definitely take care of that early. You need to. Or if
that O-line don't get addressed, man, I'm a boycott.
Yeah. They're going to take the O-line with the first pick. Because if the two top guys are there, 3 or 5, he's got to take one of them. You have to take one of them.
I would like to take a commercial timeout for 1 second. Since Lou hasn't been on the show on Tuesdays, notice somebody seems to be missing. Did anybody notice that?
Lonnie.
Where's Lonnie? And where's Uncle Finn?
Yeah. Well, Lou wasn't on last night.
Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. You know what's very interesting?
What else?
The first place Mets is very interesting. Now, I'm going to be calm because it seems that Yankee fans like yourself still like to make fun of us, right? Now, I'm speaking for all Met fans here, right? We can't seem to enjoy our good starts because we get made fun of because somehow we figure out how to collapse. And it is true, right? But can a Met fan just live and enjoy the moment right now of having a really good team? Because right now, we got an actual coach for the first time in a long time. And it's making such a difference. And these guys, I don't know, I don't know who's responsible for picking up a lot of these names that they picked up. Because I remember at the beginning of the season, I was like, who is this Kana guy? I said, is Escobar really that good? Obviously, we know Marte was good. You know what I'm saying? But, these little pieces, is Bassett really that good of a piece to add to our team? Blah, 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 this, that, whatever. All these questions about how they got these guys. Man, everything seems to be falling into place early on. Obviously, it's very early. It's still April. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But why can't you guys just bask in the fact that you guys aren't doing that bad? I mean, you guys are complaining.
No. Only person complaining
all the
is
time.
Lou. Only person complaining.
No, he's not the only one. There's mad Yankee fans complaining. I don't understand why. You guys swept the Guardians, and the Guardians was playing really good prior to that.
I'm going to back you up. I'm going to back you up for a second. First of all, I picked the Mets to win the World Series, so I'm not a Met hater. That's for one.
But you can speak for the Yankee Nation.
But I'm speaking for the Yankee. First of all, the Yankee organization is turning into a
What's up,
my friend. Pardon my friend. It's turning into a shit show. The fans are disgusting.
We need to see Nito to outer space, he said.
Oh!
Yo, look, this guy.
Lou, are you one of the Met haters, Lou?
Not at all. Why would I be shitting on the Mets?
No, I'm just asking all Yankee fans because it's like I can't be happy. It's like the Yankee fans just be like stomping on me.
Hold on. Listen. This guy last week put up a post about to the Yankees be in panic mode.
The Yankees should be in panic mode. 100% the Yankees should.
Why?
Why?
You just swept the team.
Okay.
You guys are doing all right. I mean, obviously you got issues that you got to iron out. Obviously, you've been home run or nothing type of team before. Been that.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question.
Actually,
The Yankees are most likely not going to win the division, okay? I'm sorry to say that. It's either going to be Toronto or it's going to be the Rays, okay? That's just simple as that. If the Yankees go to this one-game playoff wild card, who are the Yankees going to be putting into that starting position role?
You talking about pitching or
pitching? Who's going to be that starting pitcher?
It's got to be Cole.
It has to be Cole.
Exactly. And how bad has Cole been this year, despite the last year and a half, despite him pitching well yesterday, like the other day? He has been awful. The Yankees in a one-game playoff scared the ever-living shit out of me, and I don't like that because I don't think the Yankees are going to win the division.
But also, our bullpen has been outstanding. So even if Cole has a slow start,
outside of Chapman,
the bullpen is able to step up. So it's not like the team doesn't have major holes. Offensively, it's going to come around. We if you remember, before the season started, we were worried about our pitching staff. Our pitching staff has been pretty awesome.
About your pitching staff.
Well, no, but it's not even the pitching staff though. Right now, if you look at our starting lineup, Boone has not been consistent with who is hitting where. We've had like 5 different people. We've had like 5 different people lead off. We've had like 7 different people in the 3-hole, 7 different people in the 4-hole. There's no consistency. So what happens is that nobody knows their role. And yeah, we're winning games. We're winning games against teams that aren't good. Like, we haven't played anybody great except the Toronto Blue Jays so far.
I mean, Lou, I can sit there. They have some consistency in the 8 and 9 hole. It's usually the catcher and kind of Falefa as 8 and 9.
Angelo feels like the Rays aren't winning at all.
But first of all, I agree with you on that, Lou. I think DJ should be leading off, period.
Every
day, exactly. I agree with you on that.
He is he's the best hitter on the team, and that's how you start building momentum when you have your guy the leadoff guy getting on base right away.
But you can't have him lead off. You can't have him lead off.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You can't have him lead off when Aaron Boone is playing Russian roulette with the lineups.
Well, no shit. That's why I'm saying that he has to stay lead off the entire time.
But is your team under 500?
No.
So wait, what happened?
I said your team is not under 500, right?
No, we're 10-6.
So see, your team is not like the rest of the NL East.
Yo, the NL East, the Braves are
everybody that's better than the Mets that I was hearing. Everybody's under 500. Like, you guys aren't that.
No, it's not, but we're not that. But we're also beating teams that weren't supposed to be good. That's what I'm getting.
Well, the Guardians were good before they played you guys.
Well, they lost all momentum when they lost that in the 10th inning. And then the Yankee fans had despicable things throwing.
How do you think the Cardinals felt last night with the Mets?
I know. No,
that was a big blow up.
Yeah, what's up, Bill?
I had this clown. This clown called himself Mel Kiper over here.
It's a family reunion.
Reunion, right? Oh, Bill.
Hey.
Who was on time he forgot what day of the week it is?
Lou was like, hey, where's Billy and Brian at? Wrong show, Lou.
wait a minute. Since you guys are here, I think it's the perfect time to bring up the umpire of the year.
Angel Hernandez, yes.
It's the perfect time to bring up the umpire of the year.
I went in on him last night.
We know you guys brought him up, but we want to share with the rest of the group just how bad this guy is. And just how mad was Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber was only a little bit mad.
We got John Boy that's going to narrate this for us.
Yeah.
Pretty hilarious.
Which leads us to the 9th inning, and we have Schwarber up, who's been upset with the calls already, and they're down 1 run. Hader's in. He's really good, and that a nice slide piece from Hader, called strike. The next one, he's going to get the swinging strike on the fastball. In a hole, down 0-2, takes the slider away. Doesn't bite. Ooh, doesn't bite again at the slider. So now Hader's going to come back fastball and try to dot low and outside, ball away, full count. Schwarber is excited. He can reach base. Hader wants to do it again. Does it? Strike 3. Schwarber's pissed. Throws the bat. Throws the helmet. You've been fucking horse shit the whole game. Hader, you miss. On this side, you miss. Up high, you miss. Fucking for both sides. Fuck. God. So not happy about it.
Love it.
Yo, if that's not amazing baseball, I don't know what.
No, the best part of the whole thing was Joe Girardi after the game, and they're asking him.
Oh,
this
yeah.
poor guy, he's like, he had to look at us. He's like, I ain't getting fined for this shit. Get us a robot umpire.
Yo.
And you know what's so crazy about the Angel Hernandez thing is that he has blown so many calls over the last few years. And then he had that whole ordeal where he was suing the MLB for discrimination.
Racial discrimination, yep.
Right? So now, like, they're forced to keep him there, and he's just like, they can't do anything about it. That's the sick part.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
No, because
all you have to look is one game that was bad was when they had the League Championship Series with the Yankees and the Red Sox. They must have like 6 reverse calls that he screwed up on.
Listen,
at first base when he was up by first
he's
base.
right though, because you can't discriminate from the bad umpires. Bad umpires need jobs too.
My question is, why is he behind? I mean, why is he behind the plate? Why can't he be like the third
entertainment? You know, he's making baseball fun,
bro. Come on.
I mean, one of the other worst umpires just retired this year, Joe West. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, they were 1 and 1A when it comes to bad umpiring.
Yo.
Yeah, I've never seen such a bad umpire like that. I mean, that it was like 8 inches out of the strike zone.
I mean, Billy, can I get your expertise here? So now, in the early assessment of after the month of April, are the Atlanta Braves, what is up with them? Why aren't they winning? What is the problem?
I mean,
here?
they're off to a slow start. They did the same thing last year. I mean, that team turned it around last year without a top, in my opinion, top 3 player in baseball. When nobody thought the Braves were going to turn that season around after he got hurt, and they did. He's on his way back. He's scheduled to be back actually next Friday.
Yes.
The Mets are playing great baseball. I cannot say enough good things about the Mets because you're being realistic. There's nothing. The only knock you can have on the Mets right now is you got to be worried about that bullpen, and you got to be worried about Robinson Cano. Is it over? But other than that, the Mets are playing great. The Braves are a damn good team, and they're going to be there when it comes August, September. The Braves are going to be there, and it's going to be a battle.
Now, who's the guy who? Because we got the rosters get cut soon. I think the end of the week or next week it gets cut soon. So who do the Mets cut? Because I know they got to get the pitching down. So I'm thinking Trevor Williams definitely, right?
Trevor Williams has to be a possibility. But
John Reed Foley.
One thing I heard today, and it's not. I'd hate to see it happen. Because I'm a fan of it.
Dom Smith.
Dom Smith has an option left.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, he's starting
you should
tonight.
never do that.
Yeah, he's starting tonight at first base.
You should cut Cano and lose $20 million over Dom getting that.
But the problem is getting him at bats, and there's less at bats for him now with the DH. If they're going to commit to going with Cano, and I mean they got to figure out what they want to do. Yeah. I think this next week is going to be very telling. Mm-hmm. If Cano turns it around in the next week, which honestly I don't think he's going to, you could see Dom Smith go to the minor leagues, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't send Robinson Cano to the minors just because he's making $20 million. Like you can't say
he has no options. You can't sending Cano to the minors isn't an option. Dom Smith has one minor league option left. So
what about I was thinking? I was also thinking possibly if you said that JD Davis.
No way.
No
way. He's productive. Like everybody else, even the Janikowski kid. Like I didn't know nothing about this dude, and he's killing it.
They're all productive.
Send Nito, guys. Get Nito out of here.
No, he can't.
If Nito wasn't such a good defensive catcher.
If Angelo's still in here, he's going to explode any second right now. Because the way he was yelling at me about Thomas Nito didn't even belong in a major league roster last night.
Yo, he can't.
I don't know how he hasn't gotten thrown out of the Villa in Connecticut the way he was yelling.
Yes.
Nah, but Nito calls a good game according to Scherzer. You know what I'm saying? So like, but offensively, I feel like he's such a liability, and he has such a hot spring. You know?
Yeah, but like I was saying to Billy last night, I said the Mets catchers are not getting enough credit. For this pitching staff, knowing the pitches, knowing what to call, I like Nito as a backup. That's a perfect backup catcher.
I'd rather have that Alvarez kid that we've got in the minors.
Oh, of course.
I
mean, that's what a backup catcher is in the major leagues these days, though. Thomas Nito is the prototypical backup catcher.
Yeah. I like him.
Well,
you guys
have a catcher. The Yankees
I'm about
don't
to say
have
that.
A minor league catcher.
You guys
got Jose Trevino.
That's
your starting catcher.
I mean, the Yankees did a very interesting thing on Sunday, and they had Trevino catch Cole. I think that is the first seed being planted that Higgy could be the odd man out when they have to make a roster decision in a few weeks.
Who do you think they're going to cut?
Oh, the Yankees can only cut down pitching. They're not cutting. They're not cutting down anything off their bench. They're not cutting. The only guy
just called up Antoine yesterday. I mean,
Yeah, because Hicks is out on paternity.
Yeah.
We got anyway.
Hicks always finds a way to be out.
I was just about to say that, but I don't want to be negative. You guys are so
true.
positive.
It's like he gets his wife pregnant in August on purpose, so that way he can miss time in baseball. Like, it's July 25th. If we have a kid, I know I'll be out in at least the end of May. So let's just
But yeah, the Yankee cuts are really going to come from. They're going to come from their bullpen.
Are they going to get rid of Chapman?
No.
I heard buzzes about that.
I did.
That's not.
I heard some buzzes about it.
That's not. The only way the Yankees trade Chapman is if the Yankees somehow the bottom falls out and they're out of it in the summer. Then I picture Chapman getting traded. I think it's Chapman and Joey Gallo.
Yeah, your favorite player.
Both
Russell
of those guys.
Higgins needs to go.
That's Lou for Higashioka.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's after 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. We had 2 visitors. I loved it. We missed you guys. We missed Lou mispronouncing words. Like, oh man, we missed Billy's like genius. Like, we loved it. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yes.
Because Chet was boring the viewers with his views of the draft. So thank you for saving us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now and Lou, wait, hold on, Lou. We've been missing somebody in our comments.
Yes.
Since you've been gone.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Lonnie
and Uncle Vin.
You know what?
What's that?
They're just they're just dedicated fans to me, and maybe if you guys were more interesting, they would come on the show.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna start mispronouncing words now.
That's what it is.
Boogie, by the way, when I was on last Tuesday night, Lonnie was here.
See that?
Yes.
See that?
Yes. That was the first comment was her. Yes, I agree.
Oh,
I'm gonna message her. Oh, you can watch Billy and Brian, but you can't watch us. Okay, cool. No problem.
Okay, no problem.
No problem.
No,
we love you too.
Sign off. We have to find out. We need confirmation. Did Biggs last the entire hour?
No.
Absolutely.
I think he was only here for that 5-10 minutes, and that was it.
I told you, Steele mentioned freebies. He broke out.
He's out of here. He was gone. every time I see him, I'm gonna talk about a free T-shirt.
Oh,
I'm just, unless I get some T-shirts during the show, I want to throw up a T-shirt, throw up a freebie out there. You know, some trivia, throw a shirt out there, right, Lou? Next time I see Biggs, I'm just jumping in his truck. I'm just grabbing T-shirts.
Man.
So you better have your door locks, Biggs, when you pull up. Oh, hell no. Anyway. Yo, like I said, it's good to see you guys, man.
Yes.
You too, my man.
All right, man. Everybody, I'll see you guys next week.